Hello children, greetings of good health, well-being and an abundance of blessings. We begin our first lesson in Unit 1, The Thief's Story by Ruskin Bond. Before explaining the lesson, let's take a look at the author and learn more about him. Ruskin Bond was born in 1934. He is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Landore in Mussoorie, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He got the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra. For his published work in English, he was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014.
So let us begin the lesson. As I go through the pages, we first begin with page number 8. The word meanings will be highlighted in the presentation. The lesson is being read by the first person. The thief himself is telling the story. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. Now here is the thief talking in the first person. He happens to meet Anil, who is an easygoing, that is a relaxed kind of a person, and simple enough for my purpose, that is my purpose, which means he wants to rob Anil. I was 15 and experienced and a fairly successful hand, which means the thief is just a young boy of 15 years and he's fairly successful in his job. So once when he's watching the wrestling match, he sees Anil, who is a very relaxed, easygoing, enjoying the match. And he thought he might be able to get into the young man's confidence. That is, he wants to win the confidence of Anil. So he was striking a conversation with Anil to win his confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself. I said, a little flattery helps in making friends. Now flattery always over here means he is giving him insincere praise. Means he's striking a conversation with Anil and at the same time trying to win over him, trying to gain the liking of Anil, and tells him that you are a wrestler yourself. Actually, he is lying. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. So here the thin boy, that's the young thief, was taken aback because Anil is telling him that you look like a wrestler yourself. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. Modestly, which means without boasting, in a very humble way. That is, he is not trying to create a flowery picture of himself. He's saying he is lying to Anil that yes, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Asked Anil. Hari Singh. I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. Former means previous. So here again the thief is lying to Anil that his name is Hari Singh. Because it is very easy to change names and of course the police will not keep a track of his records. And he was always ahead of the police, which means that the police will never be able to catch him because he keeps changing his names. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Now here, the thief is trying his hand and he wants to build his confidence with Anil. Strike a rapport. And as this introduction, the breaking of the ice takes place between him and Anil, Anil talked about the great wrestlers who were in the field. They were grunting, which means low guttural sounds, which means you make an articulated voice in your throat. That's called grunting. So as these wrestlers are working out in their field, I didn't have much to say and Anil walked away casually. Casually, which of course means relaxed in an informal way. Hello again, I said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said. But I can't pay you. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. Misjudged means form a wrong opinion. Now here the thief wants to go with Anil, but Anil is in no mood to take on him. He gives him his most appealing smile, that is most attractive smile. I want to work for you. I want to work for you means he wants to go with Anil and create a rapport. He gives his most attractive, attention-giving smile. But I can't pay you. These are the words of Anil. And for a second, the thief thought that he had chosen the wrong person as his victim. We move on to page 9. I asked, can you feed me? Anil asked, can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. These are the words of Anil. He took me to his room over the Jamna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he couldn't help laughing. So here we have the meanings of page number 9. Anil asked him that can you cook? And here again the thief speaks that yes, I can cook. And so they go down the street of Jamna street shop and he allowed him to sleep in the balcony. The meal that the thief cooked that day was awful. Anil had to actually give it to a stray dog. Now what do you mean by a stray dog? A stray dog means basically a homeless animal. And told me to be off. Told me to be off, which means that, just get away from here, go away from here. But I just hung around. Hung around means basically I was just over there waiting around to gain the attention of Anil and to be with him. Smiling in my most appealing way, and of course Anil had to give in because he felt that this guy is very cute. Let's forgive him. Let's give him a second chance. Later, he patted me on the head and said, never mind. He'd teach me to cook. He would teach me to cook. He patted on my head. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. Here the thief is grateful that Anil has agreed to teach him to cook and also to read and write. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then worked and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. So here we have, it was pleasant working for Anil. In other words, it means that he had a very good time working for Anil, because Anil seemed to be a relaxed, easygoing man with no hassles. I made the tea in the morning, that is, the thief made the tea, and during the day he would buy the supplies, which means he would buy the rations. And when he would buy the rations or the groceries, he would make a profit of about ₹1 a day. And of course, Anil was aware that, this thief is making ₹1 out of the money which he is giving him to buy the groceries. But he actually did not mind at all. He ignored it. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check. But as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a pure way to make a living. Now, by fits and starts, it means in short, irregular intervals. Normally, we get a regular income, that is at the end of the month, a regular income, which means a steady income of getting the money or the salary. But Anil seemed to be a writer. He wrote for magazines. And this the thief found it very queer. That is very strange. That how could a person get money just by writing? Now, Anil kept worrying about his next check, because as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. He would borrow 1 week and lend the next. In other words, when there is no steady income coming, you tend to borrow from somebody. And when you have the money, you lend it to someone else. So it was not a regular means of income. So here the thief found it quite strange that how could a person earn a living by not having a steady income. One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. Now here comes Anil with a good bundle of notes, because he managed to write a book and he sold it to a publisher. That means his book was sold and he got a good amount of money for that book. And he tucked the money, that is, kept the money under the mattress. And this was all observed by the thief. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. The thief was waiting for a chance. It's been 1 month kind of honest work, learning to read and write, but he had not done his actual work of robbing. And as soon as he seen the notes, he felt the urge, let's try my hand again. I had every opportunity for doing so, to rob. Anil had given me a key to the door and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. And that is why it was difficult to rob him. Now here the thief is finding it very difficult, because Anil had trusted him with everything. Anil had even given him a key to the door. He could come and go as he could please. He had every access to the room, to the house in which he was staying. He was the most trustworthy person the thief had ever met. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed. But it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed. And that takes all the pleasure out of the work. So here is the thief telling that it's very easy to rob a greedy man. But to rob a careless man, because he does not seem to notice at all that he's been robbed. Well, it's time. I did some real work. Real work, which means I did my actual line of work. Let's get into the business of robbing Anil. I told myself, I'm out of practice. And if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So here is the thief trying to give all justifications of robbing Anil, that even if he's got the money, he's only going to spend it on his friends. He's not even paying me a salary. So why not rob the money? And since I'm getting out of practice, I need to rob the money from Anil. We are on page 10. So here the thief decides to take the money and catch the first train, that is the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed where Anil was sleeping. Anil was sleeping peacefully, no tension, no worries. I crept up to the bed. His face was clear and unlined, that is showing no sign of worry or anxiety. A peaceful man having a peaceful sleep. I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. Now, scars are basically marks left on the skin. When you have a wound or something, the marks that remain behind after the wound are those scars. So here the thief realizes that he had more scars than Anil. My hand slid under the mattress, that is went under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. Now when the thief is trying to rob Anil, he found the notes as he tucked his hand under the mattress, found the notes, and at the same time Anil turned, sighed, that is took a deep breath. He was startled. Startled means surprised. But quietly and quickly he crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. Now here, the thief is very happy. He has managed to steal the money from Anil and he's running. The notes were there by the string of his pajamas, right near his waist, tied around his waist. 600 rupees in 50s, which means he had 12 50 rupee notes amounting to total of rupees 600. He could live like an oil-rich Arab, very rich. And easily he could manage for a week or maybe 2 weeks. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life. He's a thief. He never thinks of buying a ticket, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had to still to pick up speed and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages. But I hesitated. For some reason, I can't explain. And I lost the chance to get away. Now here is the thief, made all his plans that he is going to rob Anil. He has robbed him of his money, managed to come to the railway station, made all plans to catch the Lucknow Express and live like an oil-rich Arab for the next 2 weeks. But for some reason, something held him back. As the train, he had enough time to get into the Lucknow Express because the train was still moving at a very slow pace out of the platform. But something held him back, something which he hesitated. And he couldn't explain the reason. Why was he hesitating to get into the train? And he just lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. Here the thief is standing alone in the deserted platform. That's an empty platform. The train has left. Everyone has got into the train. But here the thief has no idea where to go, nor have any contact with his friend. The only person whom he really knew very well was a trusted friend, was the one whom he had robbed. He did not want to go to any of his friends' place because they are more troublesome. Leaving the station, he walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness. Not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. Now here the thief has done a lot of face reading in his career of 15 years. He knows a lot about men's faces, about the people he has robbed. Here he tells that when he robs a greedy man shows fear. The rich man is angry because he's been robbed. A poor man shows acceptance. Well, what I can do now? I have been robbed. Fine, there's nothing I can do. But he knew for one thing, that Anil, as soon as he comes to know that he's been robbed by the person whom he taught to read and write, would show us sadness. Because of the loss of trust. He trusted the thief. He trusted the person very much. So this was the feeling the thief was getting when he was introspecting all the way when he was coming back. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly. It was early November and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. We are on page 11 and here we find the thief walking slowly to the Maidan. Since it was raining, there was a slight chill in the air and a cold wind was also blowing. Because of the drizzle, his clothes were getting wet. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Now here we have the thief walking towards the bazaar, having the notes, finding them still damp, that is wet. Damp means wet because of the rain. The clock showed midnight, that's 12. And he sat down in the shelter of the clock tower, that is below the clock tower. He sat down over there for some time. Anil's money In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, but now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. He sits below the clock tower with the money and thinks what exactly Anil would have done. Probably Anil would have given him about 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, watch a movie, enjoy yourself since I made money. But the thief realized that he wouldn't be able to cook Anil's meals, nor would he be able to read or write. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more than a few 100 rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and a respected man was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to read and write. So in the excitement of robbing Anil, the thief had totally forgotten that this man is actually teaching me to read and write, and I would become a respectable man, after I could learn to read and write. A few 100 rupees, what would it bring? It is very simple to steal, and it is more simple to be caught. But what is worth living? Worth living is to be living a life of dignity and respect, to earn your money. But to be a really big man, a clever and a respected man was something out of this world. I should go back to Anil. This is what the thief realizes. And he tells himself. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. So now he's rushing back, trying to give the money, put the money back to where it belonged. But he was more afraid, that he shouldn't be detected. It's easier to steal something than to return it undetected, which means to not be discovered. So he was more worried now, okay, when I'm keeping the money back, he's going to be caught. So as Anil was still sleeping, he crept inside the room, managed to keep the money back to where it was, and quietly slipped out of the room. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. My heart sank, which means I was disappointed, I was depressed that, okay, fine. I have been caught and probably Anil would take me to the police now. He was worried that Anil has caught him. But here he gives the 50-rupee note to the thief. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. Anil made some money, that's what he explains to him. My spirits rose. He became very hopeful that finally he has not been caught. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today, we'll start writing sentences, Anil said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Through love and kindness, in a very subtle way, Anil has been able to reform a thief. Thank you, students. Stay home, stay healthy.